You are now listening to the Dual Position Podcast.
The boys are back to talk all things Supercoach all season long.
Please welcome your hosts, Whisperer and Brew.
Well, a pretty up and down week, pretty swingy, let's fair to say. Brad Arthur has ruined Isaiah Papali'i's Supercoach stocks, ruined Ryan Madison as well, but there was still plenty of positives to talk about. I am the SC Whisperer, host of the Dual Position Podcast, sitting on a lovely 13-17, joined by the Brew World Orders head coach, Brew, sitting on a 12-74, so a big improvement from last week, mate.
Massive improvement, saved by Nathan Cleary. Went the anti-pod move. I was struggling a little bit, to be honest with you, to start this round. Checked the captaincy percentages, saw that Hines was at 36% and thought, you know what, Cleary normally scores pretty good in afternoon games. Let's do it. And it saved me. Yeah,
I think a lot of people had that same thought process. I changed from Hines to Cleary after Haumole went big, and we'll touch on him, and I just sort of needed to make up some ground. So I changed to Hines. I changed to Cleary as well. And at the time, I think he was on 8.6% captaincy, and he ended up finishing on 10.2 before kickoff. So plenty of other coaches also jumped off, but that paid dividends. Hines still scored respectably with a 61, but when Cleary pumps out 100 plus, it is nice to be on the end of that. Mate, for me, the story was my bench this week. Butcher 74, Sawali 59, Mam 79, Cooler 75, Max King 76, Carraz 75. So my bench performed exceptionally. And look, it's good for the long run because I'll have some good cash generation for the run home when I eventually nuff out. I can turn two of those sheepies into a gun, but it's annoying considering like I had guys like Tupou, Munster, Hines, sort of not score well. Madison with a 45. Apart from that, though, like Joe Tarpany with a 95-point performance, he was a stud in my side. Adam Elliott continues to deliver. As you said, Nathan Cleary as well, but just kind of solid all around. Garrick with 121 also helped as well. What about for your boys? Who were the stars? Who were the not so good?
Well, I started with a Cody Ramsey 32. When will I learn? Atane Milne, I ended up getting 72, so that was okay. Joy Arrow, I'm so sick of 50 or below from Arrow. Then we went Brandon Smith, the cheese, one of my worst trade-ins this season, 29. Walker was a little bit unfortunate with the HIA and bloody Satili dropping that ball. He could have easily gone 80, 90 plus there, so I don't hate that move. And then we went into... and Munster as well, and Crichton. So they both went, pretty average. And then Sunday just was lit. I had Garrick get 120 odd, Haumole 114, I think it was. Then we had all the Panthers. I had Kikau, not quite get the 2 tries I promised, but close. And obviously Tago and May are always pretty solid. And then Talakai, with a nice 79. So Sunday was a great day of footy for me.
After the Bunnies play, we'll touch on the Bunnies game shortly, but after Campbell Graham scored 95, I was ready to wring your neck out after you talked me off him, talked me on to Ronaldo, but that one came out okay too. So we'll touch on the games from this week. Game 1 was the Cowboys. We started off on Friday, which was weird, only having sort of the one game then, which was strange. But the Cowboys 31-12, the Dragons. This one headlined by Scott Drinkwater, one of the guys that sort of has always got away from me. I never got on him because by the time that I was confident enough in his ability, I thought his price had sort of left, and he performed well for owners over the Origin period, and he bounced back with a good round 14 performance, if I can talk, especially considering a lot of the big stars. At this time of the week, we didn't know anything about the Penrith stars. We didn't know about the Roosters guys. We didn't know who was backing up. So to have Drinkwater there with a 90 was very, very reliable. Jason Tamalolo also had a masterclass with an 89, and Lemuelo with an 82. A couple of other guys with some notable scores. Cohen Hess, Reece Robson doing it for owners as well with a 78. Peter Hiku finally finds that round 1 to 3 form that we all got sucked into. And Valentine Holmes with a 65 as well. With the injury to Xavier Coates, looks like Murray Taulagi might be getting a call up into the Queensland camp. He scored a 62 as well. Your bit of a pod shout, Moses Sully with an 82. He was by far the better centre. Zach Lomax had an absolute shocker from an NRL standpoint. Still an okay Supercoach-wise, 43, but there was some talk that maybe he might not be playing this week, Zach Lomax, after his poor performance.
Really?
Yeah, the Telegraph are reporting that he could potentially be dropped for a week.
Wow. Well, the Roosters need a good centre because they've got a piss poor one at the moment. So They can offer him $100,000 or something like that, get him on the books. This game, yeah, you mentioned Drinkwater. That Drinkwater hurts me. He hurts me every single week because I could have got him, and I decided to get Tane Milne that week as a big pod play, and he's absolutely, just kicked me in the old fella repeatedly, up until this week. So yeah, he's going real good. What about old Haumole, mate? I think we had a bit of an argument last weekend when I said that he was a good downgrade option from Ruben Cotter.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see how he goes now with Cotter back in the side. I want to see how the minutes go and how the output happens. I think it's the same with like Max King today. Like Max King had a very good score today with the HIA to Chris Patolo. So I'll be interested to see how Lolo and his form coincides with Ruben Cotter back next week. But yeah, a good performance from him, definitely.
Yeah, 65-70 average, I think Tamalolo will finish with. I'm in a spot at the moment where I'm seriously considering just ignoring that second bye and going more, there's still 8 rounds, I think it is, after that last bye, and I think it might be more important to have a better squad, especially with, Papali'i's a little bit concerning for me at the moment. As you said, that move to lock, which, just kind of coincides with what Parramatta does every year. Every year they get off to a flyer and, come Origin, they go on a slide. And I believe that's because they make silly decisions like this. He's the best edge back row in the comp, or at least one of, and you move him to less minutes to play in the middle. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But he's a little bit concerning because if he doesn't get the attacking junk, I feel like he's going to be kind of a 50 to 60 kind of point player, which might be on the lower side of what you're looking for come the back end of the year.
Yeah, we'll touch on that because front row forward is quite barren. As for the Dragons, however, Ben Hunt backed up after Origin with a 73. Not a whole lot else to talk about here. The Cowboys just getting better week in, week out. I've got the right score here. The Titans 16, the Rabbitohs 30. Tino Fa'asuamaleaui with a 121 off the bench. Greg Marsley with a 92. I've said it every week. If Greg Marsley was like guaranteed a spot in the Titans side, I'd definitely be owning him, but it's just like inconsistency with job security. Bo Firma with a 73. No one else scored above 60. For the Bunnies, however, the left side dominated. Alex Johnson 114. Campbell Graham scoring a 95 after you talked me off him. I was not happy at this stage. Damien Cook with a 79. Looks like he didn't play 80 minutes, but still got an attacking score out of there, which obviously helps his overall points. Tane Milne, your boy, delivering with a 72, and Keon Kulumatangi with a 69, and no one else sort of above 60. Cody Walker got a 59 close. Cam Murray with a 37, so if owners owned him and played him after his Origin performance, that would have stung. And as you touched on, Jai Arrow with a 48 he was great to start the year. Like, he was a 60, 61 kind of guy, and it's just sort of dropped off a little bit. But Alex Johnson, Campbell Graham, Cody Walker, that left side is humming, just coming into the bye. So I think they're guys you've got to target.
I'm still avoiding the Bunnies. I don't really rate the Titans as a football side this year. So, beating them by 14 is well and good, but I'm not sure that I want to own these guys, post that bye, and their run home's really, really bad. But yeah, Campbell Graham's he's a keeper centre. So if you do have him, by all means, well done. And I suppose he's an option going into the bye, but I just don't know how they're going to go post bye. So I've got a little bit of an asterisk on all the South players. Basically, I'm looking to, I'd love to offload Arrow before the bye because the 40 points is really starting to hurt me week in, week out. You mentioned Marju. I really wanted Marju in the preseason. Didn't think he was going to get named, and a bit of luck comes along, a couple of injuries, and he basically wins the spot. And then he goes down injured again, and he's just one of those blokes that if you could find the consistency, as you said, and not the consistency per se, but if you could just lock down that spot, and we know that he's a locked in guy, it's like owning Brian Toto 2.0.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. I fully get that. Campbell Graham does have probably the best floor. He does have the best floor. I think he's got a 40-45 floor in him. So definitely keeper. Just that draw after round 19 gets pretty grim for that. But anyway, yeah, Titans not a good footy side. Justin Holbrook seems to escape a lot of the criticism that other coaches do get. So it'd be interesting to see the fallout of that. The Roosters 18, the Storm 26. Enjoyed watching this game. Munster I wish. Yeah, I mean everyone owns him, so I'm not too fussed there. But for the Roosters, Nat Butcher, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see that my scores have him grayed out. Didn't play him, and after seeing, I chose to play Adam Elliott over Nat Butcher, just based off Butcher's performance last week. And yeah, after seeing him get 74, was kind of worried. Joey Manu with a 65 and Takiaho with a 60. No one else scored above 60 points. But notable mentions to Joseph Suwali with a 59, Angus Crichton with a 55, and Teddy with a 50 as well. Teddy this year has been quite up and down. I still see him as a fullback for the run home that I've got to have. But yeah, I mean, he'll come out and score 140 next week. But yeah, his scores are probably not as consistent as what we are used to seeing from Teddy.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I was talking about it on Twitter. I was really tempted to get Tedesco this week despite playing the Storm. I ended up not going that route purely because they've got 3 tough games in a row. But after the Eels performance today, maybe next week's not as tough as we thought. But 50 when he doesn't do much, and he really didn't do much in this game. Like he was still there or thereabouts, but I do think he was probably a bit tired from Origin and, didn't have his usual impact. It's interesting to see Manu only got 65. I thought he would have had a bit of a higher score given that he had a try assist in there. I thought it was a good game of footy. I thought the Roosters kind of blew it, to be honest with you. That's 2 weeks in a row that they've done that. I went on a bit of a rant about Tupanua and Paul Momirovski online, and they're doing my head in. I really hope Momirovski's not in that team next week. I really hope Adam Kieran gets the shot.
Paul 80 average Momirovski, isn't he?
Yeah. Don't listen to preseason brew. Do the opposite to what I do in the preseason.
Oh, goodness gracious
Sean
me.
Lane. Dane Gagai.
For the Storm, Marion Seve with a 127. If you own Marion Seve, then well done. Felice Kafusi with 106. Probably should be looking at quite a bit of time on the sideline, but I don't know. It's just consistent with Kafusi, so it's happening. Grant Anderson, our new saviour, our bottom dollar cheapy saviour. I am nothing next week.
Is he though?
Oh, I don't know. I'm nothing next week, and I'm probably just going to get him. I mean, like, it's gonna be weird because you're gonna have Pap come back, mean he's gonna shift to a wing, and then where does he shift out? Like, does he shift Anderson out, or does he shift Eremia out? And I don't know. But yeah, I'll be buying Grant Anderson this week, and I don't have high expectations for him, but I'm just nothing out so I can buy a big gun. But yeah, he was really good in his debut, a double 84, which is awesome. Nick Meaney with a 78 as well. Jerome Hughes 73 tops out sort of the top score for him. So let's talk on Grant Anderson, because you have mixed feelings. I'm also mixed as well. Like it's a battle between him and Eremia as to who holds the wing spot for the Storm. But he definitely didn't hurt his claims moving forward.
I thought he looked really good, to be honest with you. He defended really well. Obviously, he showed a little bit in attack, ending up with 2 tries. I don't rate Eremia too highly. I'd be very happy to see Anderson obviously get that spot. I just don't expect it to fall that way. But as you mentioned, if you do want enough option, I suppose there's a chance that he does end up playing that round 17 bye. He's had a good performance, so his name will be there or thereabouts. So there's certainly worse things that you can do. And, we're at a time where you got to try and utilize your cash as best as you can. And if you get a bottom dollar option that has the potential to play, then I suppose you do it. We did it with Mam last week. And
it won't be an AE nightmare. I think that's a big thing as well. Like, he won't be a bench.
At full strength,
he won't be a Burbo.
He'll disappear.
Yeah. Speaking of Burbo, he killed plenty of people, and we'll touch on him in due time. But Harry Grant scored a 51. I guess for owners, that's okay. I mean, he played 50 minutes, did jag at a try assist, so that definitely bumped up his score. Hey, what the hell's happened to Josh King? Aman Talks NRL Supercoach gave me a great insight too. If you go look at Josh King's points since Tui Kamika come back, it very much coincides with him just dropping off completely. So his stocks have just fallen away dramatically. And as you said, Cameron Munster did not play a good Supercoach game. I think he played an okay NRL game. Ended up on 43 points, doing sweet FA. Game 4 of the round, the Broncos 24, the Raiders 18. I'm just gonna say highlighted by Ezra Mam. He has just gone bang, bang, bang. 3 games, a minus 101 break even this week. He looked really good. Adam Reynolds looks like he's going to be out for maybe a week or 2. It's sort of confirmed that Tyson Gamble's now out for at least 4 weeks. So yeah, all systems go for Ezra Mam. The only problem is that there is a gap between, I think it's around 16 and 17. I think there's a 1 week gap. So
15-16.
15-16. So yeah, there is a gap between the footy. So that's going to not hurt Mam, but because it's just going to give Gamble a chance to recover. But man, like, In the pre-game interview, Adam Reynolds basically said that I want to start playing with Ezra Mam, like a Cody Walker how they did last year, like have Reynolds run the show and Mam sort of sync up. And what was really, really enticing was the fact that Mam was sort of being used as a bit of a fullback in attack as well, and so that it wasn't a split side, similar to how Jerome Luai and Cleary link up. Like they both sort of come across, and it was giving Mam plenty of touches on the ball. He scored a 79. Flegler with an 83. Carrigan, what a man, just backs up after Origin, backs up after a 65-minute performance, and just does the business again. 82 points for him. TC Rabati with a 73. Billy Walters with a 67. Branko Lee, shout out to Supercoach Guns on Twitter. If Herbie Farnworth is out for the season, which is confirmed, Branko Lee could be a shout. Plays around 17, good floor. So he's one, and obviously Herbie Farnworth 65, he is out. Jordan Ricky with a 60 as well. And I guess the big talking point as well, Payne Haas, 31 points, done his shoulder again. If I would be correct, I think it is his other shoulder as well. So we'll touch on both those, but give me your thoughts on big Ezra Mam.
Ezra's won the spot, in my opinion. I know that's maybe not too spicy, but for me, Pakes drops out of this side and Gamble goes into the 14. I don't think Gamble by any means should drop out of the side. He's had a great season to date. I just think that eventually you need him.
He offers something that's not on the like that stats don't give as well. Like he just offers that presence of just being an absolute piece of shit, and teams don't like that, and that's something that scorecards don't comprehend.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just feel like there's going to be more fluidity, you know, with the Mam Reynolds piece. So I kind of feel like he is going to hold that spot. It is why I was going to jump on Mam anyway. And then obviously the Gamble news came out and he was out and we were like, okay, cool. This is free money and Mam's, you know, in good form. I played him personally by choice. I had a feeling that he would go well against Canberra. It was a cracking game, I thought. I really enjoyed watching this game, and it's the best Broncos performance I reckon I've probably seen since the season that they made the grand final. You know, they've fallen in and out of games consistently, and normally if they had lost their entire bench, then, you know, someone would have beat them 59-0.
Yeah, I think they had Reynolds go, they had Farnworth go, they had Haas go, so they were left with one man on the bench, and they just put grit the teeth in it and played really, really well.
And if that had gone to Golden Point, they had no bench because Mam obviously went off right at the death.
With the HIA.
HIA as well. A few quick pointers. I just want to say Carrigan, what a man.
Yeah, far out.
I love that guy. I wish I did own him. You know, it wasn't really there at the start of the season. The minutes seemed to fluctuate a little bit between him and Haas. And, you know, he's just great performance in Origin, followed up by another great performance, you know, which through injury, he had to play extended minutes and he certainly didn't let him down. And not really going to go on about Tarpany because we've done that for the last few weeks.
We will, because he scored 95, basically all in base. I think he had one try, like one line break assist. I posted his stats on Twitter. He was incredible. In the time that he had, I think he had something like 6 offloads, 25 tackles, 19 runs, 250 meters. I think he had like 80 post contact meters. Like he was just an animal. And I bought him thinking that Josh Papali'i would be rested over sort of this period. And Tarpany has just stepped up. He's averaged 71.25 in his last 4 games. Like that was pre-update, so it's going to be higher now. I think it's closer to 77 points a game in his last month of footy. He is fantastic. The problem is Payne Haas a shoulder, and it looks like that sort of bit of a pod player. Bought him at 10% ownership. That's definitely going to be skyrocketing now after the last sort of 3 weeks and Haas being out, so not ideal. Corey Horsburgh with a 97, and our boy Adam Elliott with a 92. I think he had 99 last week, 92 this week. He's scoring tries for fun. Yeah, what a man. That was a tough trade in for me when I did it. It obviously came with plenty of risk, but looks like his cash end's going to go up, and we will move him on in probably a couple of weeks for some good coin. This one was just a game in the middle, so like your top 4 scorers for the Raiders: Horsburgh, Tarpany, Elliott, Young. They all scored 75 plus. Fogarty with a 70. Xavier Savage with a 66 as well. So, big battle. This was a really good game. I can't speak highly enough of this game just in general. Anything else here to talk about? Not much, I would say. Your boy Corey Harawira-Naera. Looks like he's come back from the dead, back in Ricky Stewart's plans.
Who knows about him, but I'll just say a couple of things. Horsburgh's in career best form. It's been good watching him play lately. You know, he's been a really up and down for his career, so much potential, but hasn't really shown much on the field. It's good to see him going well. And Adam Elliott. Well, I think Adam Elliott has realised that he's going to the Newcastle Knights, and he just needs to get some tries whilst he can. And he's done it the last 2 weeks.
The thing about running a podcast, running a page or whatever, or being a presence on the internet or whatever, I don't really care about how my team goes. But when Elliott crashed over for a try, my phone lit up with people like thanking me because people weren't looking at Elliott. People were like, "Oh, thanks for talking me into him." Like that's the things that like I love. Like you love to see sort of stuff like that because it just shows you I guess the impact that you have, and that was nice to see. Rabbitohs. Oh, I've got the wrong score up here. I have the Rabbitohs Tigers game. That is definitely not the game. It's the Tigers and Manly. The Tigers suck. Manly also suck, but just a little bit less. Joe Offahengawi top scored. I think it says a whole lot about the club in general. I'm
tempted by him, to be honest.
Yeah, he's been playing well. And front row forward, and like the front row forward slot sucks.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like I really want to move Arrow on, or either get a third front row forward. And with Tarpany obviously not playing the next bye, and Joe O's form, there's not many options. And yeah, I'm a little bit tempted. I hate to say that.
No, I don't hate it. He's been playing really good footy. Luke Garner 71, Alex Twile 69, Ken Mamalo 65. A bunch of mediocrity.
Can we just skip to the man getting his first try?
The man, who's the man? Oh, Talatau Kula. Yeah, 75 points. Yes. How good. What a man.
What a man.
I think
a great first try too. He deserves it. He's quick. Supercoach aside, let's forget about Supercoach for just a minute. That guy puts in every single week, defends so well, and nobody deserves a first try like that more than Mr. Cooler.
Or Blake Laurie last week.
Yeah, but more so Cooler.
All right, the chat is blowing up for one man and one man only, and it is Haumole Owners now in a boost for his, I guess, stocks. He's turned down New South Wales and he'll represent Tonga. So that doesn't take him out of any future games. So Haumole Owners 112, just an absolute machine. And yeah, he's a guy that I want for the run home. I just don't know where I can get him, unfortunately. He is an absolute machine.
Yeah, it's one of the few things I'll have over you, mate, is owning that beautiful man there. And isn't it not? Have you noticed since Turbo's gone down how the entire right side is full lit? They get more touches. They get more ball.
That was the same.
Wonderful.
Yeah, just when he wasn't playing like that, and DCE wasn't playing this week as well. So interesting that like Foreign went over to the right, and sort of he was the controller, and Schuster was sort of the ball runner. And yeah, they just got plenty of touches, and the right was definitely humming. And you could see that by Cooler having a good score, Olakau'atu having a good score.
Absolutely.
Even Saab looked not Saab.
Tupolotu.
He just looks good just in general. So yeah, it is interesting to see that the Turbo fact, because Turbo's so good at swinging right to left that it opened up Garrick and the likes last year. So I understand that. Speaking of Garrick, 121 from him as well. Yeah, just solid, good buy.
Yep, 215 points in 2 weeks as an owner. I'll take that.
100%.
Thanks, Rubes.
Former West Tigers general manager, lawnmower, maintenance extraordinaire, Josh Aloye with a 121 performance as well. Good for him. Jake Trbojevic with a 76. Is this 2015? And yeah, Talatau Kula, as you said, 75 points from him. Sort of scrolling in the list, there's nothing too...
Not much else, yeah.
Apart from Ben Trbojevic getting 6 points. Plenty of people were hoping he'd get a bit of a cash gen. Don't think it's happening.
Yeah. Didn't he just give people the middle finger in the end? He's got such a low BE, and then, he disappears for the bye round, and then he comes back and dishes up a 6 when some people were trying to loop. Wowza.
Ruined it. Absolutely ruined it. Game 6 this week. The Knights 6, Panthers 42. After Olakau'atu went huge, I was like, oh shit, like Hines is captain by like 38% of teams. This is really going to make or break my week. So let's run with Cleary and we'll risk it. And yeah, it paid off. 106 points for Cleary. There was a few touch and go line breaks assists that people were hoping you didn't get them. It's sort of been a little bit standard this year, which is good. But 106 points from Cleary did bounce back in big fashion and just put the Knights to the absolute sword here. The big difference between Cleary and Hines is just like the goal kicking. Like Cleary is just a safe 20, 25 points a game in goal kicking, whereas Hines ended up losing points. So that was the big thing. I think both of them played a very similar Supercoach game, but it just come down to that goal kicking. Brian To'o with 116. He is looking primed to be in sides for the run home. Hopefully his price doesn't skyrocket too much. Stephen Crichton with 100 points as well. Viliame Kikau with an 88-point performance. we say it every week. He is rocks or diamonds, but this year it's just looking much more improved, and he's backing himself just way more, getting way more involved. And you saw that with that play, like when he scored, he just came around and he just backed himself and went over the top of the Knights guys and scored a great try. Luai with a 75, Dylan Edwards with a 74, and Isaac Tago with a 69-point performance as well. But this one was headlined by Cleary, despite not being the highest score. Big swing in captaincy, and you made that change late before the game as well.
Yeah, I pissed a couple of people off in head-to-heads too because it literally gave me the win on them, and they were like, "You bastard, you switched that at the very last minute," and I did. I think I switched it about 2-3 minutes before kickoff. I was tempted, and then I was like, "Nah, you know what? The weather looks good. It's an afternoon game," and I just had memories of when he scored his 150s. I swear, at least one of them was an afternoon game, and I was like, "I'm going to do it. I need the points this week," and I think I ended up in pretty good areas with my score, especially with the Eels not scoring many points. And I think Cleary was a little bit hard done by. I really thought there was an LBA early in the game that he didn't get, that he should have got.
The wraparound, which I think Edwards got for the try.
There was one try that I think the center or the fullback got it, and Cleary created it. He created all the space, and it was just a catch and pass. And I felt like, Cleary probably should have got that because he did create it, but by the rules this year, he doesn't get it. So he's a little bit unlucky. To Hines, I think, if my maths is correct, I think Hines lost base. It was a 52-point swing for Hines, which pretty much puts him on exactly the same score if he could actually kick goals. Yeah, so it's massive when your goal kick has a day like that, especially as captain.
Someone in the chat said, do you think Hines has been found out? Absolutely not. I think Hines and Cleary played a very similar Supercoach game. It just come down to the goal kicking. So I'm not too stressed on Hines at all.
If Hines gets 60 points in a poor performance with, I think, 8 or 9 missed goals, that's pretty darn good in my opinion.
As for the Knights, not a whole lot to talk about. Clemmer, I'm looking at, but Clemmer will be a guy that I buy probably just before the round ends, not like now. Like I'm not fussed for him. Randall, cool. Fitzgibbon, cool. No one else really appear to note. Mitch Barnett, some people are asking if he's an option. I'd probably just pay the money and get Clemmer, to be honest, if I'm looking at anyone from the Knights side. Yep.
Save a trade.
The Warriors 16, the Sharks 38. We sort of touched on Hines enough. He scored a 61. Yeah. He scored a 61. Cameron McInnes got updated to a 63. Lovely to see. Will Kennedy with a 72. Siva Talakai 72. Sienna Katoa 93. Matt Moylan with 101. And Ronaldo Mulatalo probably... he was one of the most popular trading targets this week. He definitely delivered with 106 and a really dubious try. I think his knee may have been in or out by an absolute bee's dick, but as an owner, I was very, very happy that try was awarded.
Even after I spruiked, buying him last week and shouted from the rooftops that I was getting him, especially after he kindly spoke so nicely about Daniel Tupu. I didn't end up getting him, so I certainly was hoping that his leg, did touch a blade of grass or whatever there. I got to tell you, but I'm tempted to buy both Katoa and Mulatalo, both of them this week, and own both the wingers because they're scoring at equal rates. The Sharks have 2 very easy games for the next 2 weeks, although the Dogs showed a little bit today. I suppose we still do class the team coming last as an easy game. And then they finish the season so strong, and there's every chance that, 1 week Mulatalo gets a ton and the next week Katoa could get a ton. So I'm honestly considering it, just go and double down and take both wingers.
Shout out to Scott Thompson in the chat. He's just put here, if you have a captain that's a goal kicker and they miss, it's a 12-point swing. So that just goes to show you the difference between Cleary and Hines this week. So yeah, I wouldn't be stressing too much. Apart from that, not a whole lot to talk about from the Sharks. All their sort of guys went well. All the ones that we were looking at went well. For the Warriors, Wade Egan, 81, Reece Walsh, 69, Bailey Stearns, 68, and Dallin Watene-Zelezniak with one of the tries of the ages with a 67-point performance as well. The Warriors... it's just not happening for them this year, unfortunately. Stacey Jones has inherited a very, very bad side, and I feel bad for him.
Yeah, so do I. I think Curran needs to be the 13 in that side, in my opinion. Needs to play big minutes. He's the best player in their side. Johnson's... They need to send a message to Johnson and send him to Reggie's, to be quite honest with you, because he is not up to NRL standard at the moment, and I hate saying that because I love Sean Johnson. There's not much to talk about. I thought Reece Walsh had an absolute ass stinker. I couldn't even get the words out then. Like, it was a shit performance, to be quite honest with you, to cut it real. Some of his passes were ridiculous.
I think he was trying to make a lot happen, and I don't blame him, because SJ just this fairy tale narrative has not been good, and SJ has been living off the back of a 1 or 2 year performance for the past 5 years. In all honesty, like, he hasn't been good for. Sorry, he hasn't been consistently good for, I would say, 5 years. So this SJ come home party has not been fantastic. But let's
shout out to Matt Moylan. But before we move on, like, this is the best form I've seen for him since his Panthers days, basically. Definitely for the Sharks. Like, this guy couldn't string 3 games in a season. You know, we always used to joke that he gets, $500,000 per game because he only plays a couple of games a year. Like,
I
think
he's
staying on the field, he looks good.
I think there was genuine threat to his job with Braden Trindle this preseason, and then Trindle had that stinker in the trial, and then Moylan's just taking it with 2 hands in run. I think he complements Hines really, really well. So, good to see. Moving to the last game before we finish up today, the Bulldogs 34, Parramatta 4. An absolute ambush. Dogs of war. Let's trot. Doggies, bro. Like, whatever everyone's saying, like, the doggies were on. They looked good, and our pod play that we never jumped on, Matt Burton, doing it once again.
Yeah, my screen hasn't flicked over yet, so I can't actually see what he scored.
91.
91. Wow, maybe I should have got him last week. 2 90s in a row.
He paired up with his boy Josh Adokar with an 89-point performance as well. So 180
with a hat trick.
180 points performance between the two of those, and they're looking at leaking out really well.
Their combination's great. You know, Burton has that ball on a piece of string sometimes. That chip across he does. That's the best. I think that combo is the best I've seen since Cronk used to do those little chip kicks and put it right on their chest over to Suliasi Vunivalu. He's just wonderful. And those bombs, I've never seen. There was one bomb today that dead set came down with ice on it. It went that high. You couldn't see it on the screen. Like, it was above the stadium, and then it came down. And I think it was only just caught, to Gutherson's credit. But the Eels today were absolutely terrible. Yep. And that Moses moment was a walking meme at the end, where he just, you want to talk about let's trot. Like, he just did a little trot over that try line, wanted to gently put that ball down, and Matt Burton said, Hadouken, no thank you. And then they go down the other end and score definitely my favourite try of the weekend, and definitely the best Bulldogs try I've seen in some time. It was a feel good. I think anyone that's not an Eels fan really enjoyed watching that game, because it's been a very long time since we saw the Dogs put in a good performance, and that was a really good performance by them.
100%. Max King 76, boy, he is good. Karaz can piss off for all I care. I've played him I've played him for the last 2 weeks, got nothing. The weeks I don't play him, he goes huge. So good on him. No one else really scored well for the Dogs. However, they just played really well across the park. Our boy Jeremy Marshall-King played a very good game as well. It pains me to say.
Marshall King's become one of the most respected guys at that club. Oh no, I'll put my hand up. I'm wrong. I said he was a total noob, and that he wasn't a number 9. Like, I said he wasn't top 5 hookers in the club, yet alone in the comp. But honestly, at the moment, he probably is one of the top 5 hookers in the comp. He's very good. And there was one question I got bombarded with this week, in the DMs, and that was, should I sell Kula or should I sell Karaz? And I'm going to tell you, I told everyone to sell Karaz.
I mean, they both scored the same.
Because he was due. Kept saying to people, Kula's going to score this week. He's due. And I got on my high horse when he did score, and I was very happy. And I did shoot some messages off going, I fucking told you. And then Karaz goes out and gets 75, which for now is 1 less than Kula. So I was right, people.
We've got about 3 minutes to go before our Zoom meeting cuts out, and there's no point firing another one back up. So let's run through Parramatta. IPAP 61 had a line break assist in there. I don't know why Brad Arthur just tries to do some weird shit. Just play him at the edge. I mean, Niokora did not offer anything, I felt, today. So just put IPAP back at the edge.
And he's leaving the club too. Like,
just run him into the ground.
Why put Niokora there? He's going to the Warriors. Like, just leave your best option on the edge.
It's not like Niokora staying and IPAP's leaving. Like, they're both going. So just play the better one there. So I agree with that. Matto, should we be concerned with Matto? His minutes were down, or are we just saying this was the Parramatta?
I don't think the Eels will play that bad again this season, and the Eels won't play, he won't be playing after Origin too many more times this season. I'd say he's normally, 70, 80 in base plus power, just back that he'll go back to that.
Yeah, I'm not too far. I think it was a case of them just getting trounced through the middle and also coming off the back of Origin and Brad Arthur just trying to throw some shit at the wall and hoping it sticks. Dylan Brown, I felt, did not play good today at all. His kicking game was rubbish. His ankle is obviously still affecting him. His running game was nowhere near as good as what it was. And my thoughts on buying Reid Marnie as a round 17 option, kind of dwindling away.
Yeah, no, I'd probably buy. I was about to say Marshall King, but he actually already played the buy. Cancel that.
He did. All right, that is going to wrap it up for, I guess, our round 13. Round 14 wrap up. I'll probably hang back and answer a few questions for 5 or 10 minutes on the YouTube. Brew has a wife and kids to go attend to and a Zoom meeting that's running out. But apart from that, man, a pretty good week. I scored 1,300 plus. He scored just under 1,300. So pretty good week for both of us. And I think, hopefully I see some green arrows. Some of the boys in front of me, Tim Moody, Tim Williams, the physio, they all scored higher than I did. So I'm not too sure where I sit, but I definitely see you having some big jumps in your ranks.
Yeah, I should see some green arrows. I've got 315K in the bank, and, I'm more than happy to sell an arrow or a Talakai or whomever I need to this week to add 2 very big guns. So hopefully it's onward and upward from here, but it is nice to get back into good areas. Yeah,
I've got absolutely plethora of depth in my squad, so now it's time for me to start maybe selling two for one, two middies for one gun moving forward. But I've been Supercoach Whisperer, coach of the Ramsey Resurgence, joined as always by Brew SC22, coach of the Brew World Order. You'll be listening to the Dual Position podcast. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow. Teamless drop then. So for now, enjoy.
Ciao for now, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, kick Brew out of the meeting. I will hang back and answer a few questions. Hopefully I can. I don't know how to make this. Hey, that's me. We'll put this there, and then I'll answer a few questions for you. I am way too humble. Oh, thanks, man. Do we have some questions that I can answer before I finish up for today? But apart from that, no, it was a pretty good week, I feel. A few it was one of those weeks in Supercoach where, not all the highest owned players scored well. A few pods went well, so, scores might be quite condensed, but there'll be quite a mix of different, if that makes sense, a different mix of players. So, for example, Haumole went big. A lot of people own him, but, Tarpley went big as well. So it kind of balances out some highly owned players. Highly owned players balanced out with, not so much higher owned ones. Who do we sell Haas to? Clemmer or Tarpany? I think they're probably the 2 best options in the front row forward stocks. If you have the jewels to make it work, then obviously Haumole is the go. What is par this week? It's hard with par. It really depends where you are. I'm in the top 250. If I didn't score 1,300, I wouldn't be happy. Whereas someone like Brew, who's down in 8K, him scoring 1,200 is huge. So I think it really matters as to where you are. How many bloody hats do you have, man? I have way too many hats. My missus gets up me all the time. But I got this one and a blue one, the exact same stuff, $10 each. So I can't complain. I got a shocking hairline, so I've got to chuck a hat on to cover it up. Hey, Wisp, how many centre wings are you planning to run? 5 or 6? I have 5 at the moment, not sure. Okay, so looking at my squad now. So I'm just looking at my squad quickly. I think I played 6 this week. I think I played 5 this week. Ideally, I'd like to have Garrick, Mulatalo, Talakai, May/Tago. I don't think I'm going to own both. And then maybe 5. 5 that I'll play and then maybe 6 on rotation. I think it just depends on who is playing that week based off matchups. What do you think about Grant to Cotter and Tupolotto to Mulatalo? I like those moves, my man. I do like those moves. Maybe see how Grant and Cotter come back next week before making the move on that. Sitting at 4.5K and scored 12. My eyes are shot 12.80. I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger so I can see it. So sitting at 4.5K and scored 12.30 green or red. I think you'll see green there, man. I have competed nearly in every position with the top-rated players, but fullback, Drinky, Manu, Hook, McInnes. What do you prioritize first? Upgrade out of their positions, the highest ceiling ones. If you're chasing ranks, I'd definitely be going the highest ceiling guys, so getting your fullbacks in. I'm actually really tempted to make a play at Pappenhausen this week if he's named. I know it's probably risky, him being back this week, but it's a high ceiling guy that I think I can rely on. Who are the best 2 fullbacks for round 17? I think Will Kennedy is definitely with a shout. He's looked okay, but maybe just move Hines down. Hines and then Pappenhausen if he doesn't play. But it's just going to depend on Origin, I think, personally. Is there someone I can sell Jazz to, mate? How much cash you have? That's probably the biggest thing for me. I have Vayela. Do I hold or sell? I would be selling Vayela, my man. Do we hold Talakai for those 2 weeks? Just wait until it's confirmed. But I think so. He'll miss this week and then next week, but then he'll come back for round 17. I'm just going to hold. I've anti-potted the whole season. Do I keep it up? Yeah, if you've come this far, definitely. 12k rank and scored 1420. Wow, good stuff to buy. That is huge, man. Taking Pap is a big risk. I do understand that now. Aiken or sell, I would definitely be moving on Aiken. And Tago or sell to free up some cash for now. I'd probably sell May over Tago if I'm selling one of them. Numbers for round 17, less than round 11. Less than round 13, sorry. I'm probably going to be looking to have 10, and they're 10 like quality guys, like 10 really good guys. So, yeah, is Cody Walker a sell? Absolutely not. Sell him round 18. I think that their draw gets rough then. How many trades and boosts left? I have no boosts, but I have 13 trades left. So, just trying to prime for the run home more than anything. Yeah, trying to hold your money for Pappenhausen. I definitely rate that. I definitely do get that. But I think that's going to wrap it up for me, guys. I'm going to go eat some food. And yeah, we're going to get settled in for tomorrow. Teamless will be back, and then we will we'll go from there. So hopefully you've enjoyed the stream. Thank you for hanging around, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Not dead yet. There we go. Bye.